Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Transformers Friday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have Transformers Legacy United on the top. On the front here, we've got nice artwork of helicopter mode, and then of dune buggy mode, and then of course the partial window where you can see part of the actual robot mode. Takara Generations Transformers Legacy United G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm. Transformers Legacy United 8-up Hasbro print, leader class. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, symbols I'm not going to learn, a barcode, recycled stuff, and includes figure and 4 pieces. Also, it's authentic. On this side, we got 2 pieces of artwork. It's probably actually the same piece of artwork with just some different backgrounds to it, maybe not. Of Sandstorm in his robot mode. I don't know why I kind of just lost it there for a minute. Then we've got that nice 40th anniversary artwork here for Legacy United. Then on the back, Transformers More Than Meets the Eye G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm. Nice digital renders of all 3 modes, 3 in 1. Transforms from the buggy to the helicopter in 32 steps, and from the buggy to the robot in 19 steps. Transformers 40th logo there, and then we have warning, attention, Achtung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Some more small fine legalese made in Vietnam print and Hasbro print. That, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories in robot mode. And I will say, I'm sorry, this is a little bit out of order of what I normally do. I usually start off with the alt modes and then work my way back to the robot, but I've decided on this one to start with the robot mode because the way the transformations go, you go from robot to dune buggy to helicopter. So that's the reason I'm doing it out of my usual order. And I know usually I do it even though the instructions say, robot to vehicle or robot to alt mode, and I'd do it in reverse, but I'm doing this one. It's got 3 modes, so that's the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it to make it easier and less time consuming all the way around, which I'm not doing by explaining all that. So let's get started with a look at the stuff. And here we have the handy dandy instruction manual, and because he has an extra mode, it is just a little bit thicker than most, but not too much so. Not that that really matters, does it? Transformers Legacy United, Transformers Generations, G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm. There's nice line art of him. And here we go. The instructions are pretty easy to follow. And they're not bad to look at. And, the parts that get manipulated, they're colored, and it's on pretty much, I don't want to say it's on a white background and printed in, I don't want to say it's black. It's not quite black. It's not gray. It's almost a kind of a dark navy bluish. At least that's the way it looks to me. I'm colorblind, so don't make fun of handicapped people. But overall, I have to say I like these instructions. They're easy to follow and don't leave you guessing much as to what piece is moved how or what. So anyway, I'm just rambling on today. So let's take a look at the accessories. First of all, he has this blaster pistol, and it looks like it's molded in, I won't really say silver, but kind of a grayish silver maybe. And it has nice molded details. No waffling, surprisingly. Now here's his rifle. It does have a little bit of waffling, but it does have nice molded details, and it looks pretty cool. And it's got a post here and 2 posts on the side, so we may have seen this before. I don't recall it, but there's that. Here is the winch, and it does have a real piece of string in it, and it does pull out, and you can wind it back up in there. And here is the cage, and it does come apart, and you just have to line it up correctly to put it back on. And it does have a port here in the top, and it does, the winch post does port in to that. It'll also port into the bottom portion as well, but I don't see any reason for it to do that. Now with this figure, there is a little bit of assembly required, and it's this accessory piece right here, which are the rear rotors for the helicopter. And what you do with it, if you take a look at it, you can see it's mostly a round post, but it does have a little bit of a tab on it right here, and that's just to ensure that you put it in the proper place. And the proper place for it is this port here in the top, and you can see how it has that how the port is shaped, and then it has a piece for that tab. And you just line those up and apply some slight pressure, and it will go right on in there. Let's move the camera up a little bit. Now let's take a look at the figure itself now that he's all assembled. And I won't say there's a lot of paint going on here, but you've got some silver for the face, the mask piece looks like some gunmetal for the actual face, and then some blue for the eyes. And then I don't know if this is paint or if it's molded in black. I would assume that's molded in black, and then it's got this nice paint app on the top of the head. And you know, it's got some paint apps that will probably show up better in vehicle mode, but Tampo, Autobot Tampo on the chest, got some paint apps here and here, and I'm not sure how much of all this is paint apps or how much of it is molded in color. And he's got some silver here, and he's got these paint apps here on the toes that turn into the headlights. And then the back is pretty gappy, and it's okay. I mean, he transforms into 3 different things, so he's gonna have a backpack, so he has a backpack. And then a lot of hollowness here in the back of the legs, but if these collapse down, it wouldn't really look that bad. And he's got a good bit of the back of a foot, I guess you could say, heel spur. I do believe is the correct term for it. Now let's talk about his articulation. At the head, he doesn't really look up much. That popped out of place, and that's why he looked up. And down just a little bit. No chicken neck, no waggle. And it can turn, you know, this way, and it can turn that way. It cannot do the full exorcist because of, you know, backpack pieces and posts in the way and stuff like that. At the arm, he can raise it approximately 90 degrees. 360 degrees of rotation if you swing it out past the backpack. There is a cut at the bicep, or just above the elbow, at the lower bicep, I guess. And it does give you 360 degrees of rotation. The elbow, you do get more than 90 degrees worth of bend, so that's pretty cool. And then if you untab it here, I guess you could say you get a little bit of butterfly in there, but that's really due to transformation. At the hips, he gives you the full splits. He kicks forward better than 90 degrees, so that's good. And backwards, a few steps. Then at the upper thigh, he has a full 360 degrees of rotation. At the knee, approximately a 90 degree bend. It might be a little more than that. It might be a little less than that. And then at the ankles, he's got that much rocker. And tilt, it doesn't really have any tilt. Well, I'll say that, but there it goes. You got that much tilt. And nothing forward, just back tilt. So, that is not bad. But he does have just a slight turn here at the waist because the backpack does get in the way. And I did forget to mention that earlier. So there is that. Now as far as the accessories go, let's see if we can put this cage back together. Crate, carrier, I'm not sure exactly what you would call it. But anyway, the way the instructions show it for robot mode is you take the winch and you plug it into the top of the cage, and then you pop it in his hand, and I guess he can swing it around. Then on that same arm, you take the small pistol and you port it into the side of the forearm there. And then, of course, he falls down. And lastly, his rifle. And he just holds that in his hand. And there you have it, my friends. A look at Sandstorm in his robot mode. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, robot mode comparisons. And here we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm with the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Voyager Class Springer. For our final set of robot mode comparisons, here we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of, or at least the first comedy portion of our show, where I attempt to transform this Transformer. And the first thing that I'm going to do is just remove all the accessories except for this part. This part is, once you put it in, it's really meant to stay there, and you don't have to pull it off to transform him or anything like that. So here we've got that done. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. And this isn't really the first thing in the instructions, but you split this and leave it like that. So that's not bad. And these panels right here just fold down. And then at the feet, you just fold the feet up, and you can see it's on a double hinge right here. So just fold them up like that, and then put them like that. Once you do that, there's tabs and slots on the inside of the legs, and you line those up. Supposedly, you line those up and just push them together. There's tabs down here for the feet as well. Now, before we go any further with that, one of the pieces does go here, and it tabs in. You can't really see it. If there's a tab, maybe you can see it. There's a tab right there, and it's on both sides. And then this one has, or it has slots on both sides, and this has tabs on both sides. So those tabs tab in those slots, and the port right here goes over this post. And you can wait till the end to do that, and I might end up regretting not, but because it goes there, I wanted to go ahead and get that thing out of the way. It's easier than once you have everything put together. Now the chest piece is on a double hinge, and you just hinge it down out of the way for right now. And the head, tilt it forward like this, and then the head, you can pull it forward like that. But the head also is on a hinge there, and you just put it all the way back, and just it feeds inside of this and in here. So there is that. And then these two posts right here, there's two ports on this. And it supposedly lines up. I finally got it in there. Now going back to the arms here, you can see there's a hinge right here, and it opens up like that, and you flip it around, you can notice there's a tab right there, and that'll come into play here in just a minute. And then we'll do the same thing over here on the other side. Now we've got that done. You push the legs up, and if I hadn't put this here, I could show you what's going on, and I'll just go ahead and do that because why not? You can see these pins right here, they're on you know, there are sliders in this groove right here. And it did take me a minute to figure out that that's what was going on there during my first attempt at transforming this guy. So we've got those there. So this stays out all the way. You can see there's two tabs right here, and where's the ports? Ports are right here. So that will go down into the ports. Once you have that done, these hinges right here that I said you could use as butterfly joints, you undo those, you straighten the arms out if they're not already straight, and then right here there's a slot, and that's for that tab on the hand. And so you tab that piece in there, and that's all good. You do the same thing over on the other side. And there's that. Now, just make sure this piece stays closed over the blades. And if for some reason things aren't sitting quite right, these blades may not be pushed down all the way, so just apply a little bit of pressure, gentle pressure, till it pops in. So once you've got that on there, well, I'll grab that piece, but that's not next. The next thing you want to do is get the winch and put it in. See that port right there, the post? They just go together. Wind it all the way in. Then, as far as this cage piece, roll cage or whatever, you can see there's two open ports right there. The next to the last bar on each side, ports in there, and this higher bar here goes to the back. So there is that. Now the small pistol, you can port it in here or here, either way. It doesn't really matter. I do believe the instructions show it this way. And then for the rifle, you port it in right there. And that, my friends, is Sandstorm all transformed into his dune buggy mode. Let's take a look at the figure in his dune buggy alt mode, and I have to say I like this a little more than I thought I was going to from the pictures. As you can see, it rolls really well, and all the accessories are on it. Of course, you got the tail fin piece here, which, you know, you put that on out of the box and then pretty much it just stays there. It kind of snapped in. I'm sure you could work it out if you wanted to, but why? And then you've got the cage, you've got his large gun, you've got his smaller weapon, and you've got the base for the cage. And almost forgot, the winch is in here inside the cage, so that's something as well. Now, as far as the coloration on this, it does appear that the majority of it is molded in color, just like most Transformers. I mean, it's molded in color, and then it has a few paint apps on it. Looks like maybe that's a paint app, maybe that's a paint app, maybe on these sides of the panel is a paint app. We've got a paint app right here and a couple paint apps right here, Autobot Tampo right there, some silver paint apps here, some paint apps for the headlights, and then did I mention the wheels already are silver, painted silver? So at least I think they're painted. They might be molded. That one could go either way. It's hard to tell. The tires are nice and rubbery. They have a little bit of flex to them, but not a whole lot. So that's fine. And then you can rotate the cannon here a little bit. And it's got some posts on either side too. So if you wanted to take it and put it in sideways rather than up and down like this. But I like this look better. So that's just me. You put your transformers together how you want to. If you like it better the other way, then hey, jump on it. We've got some paint apps here on the back for the what becomes the helicopter canopy, and then right here, and then again right here. So on the other side, I mean, it cleans up really well. You've got visible helicopter blades and really no visible robot parts because of this panel right here when it's stuck into place. So that is actually pretty cool. And you might say you had visible robot syndrome here in the vehicle mode on the sides. The arms are, you know, they're visible, the legs and feet, but they're not, it's not obvious. And I think they did really well on this mode, hiding all the robot bits and bops and boops and helicopter parts for the most part. I mean, you got this, and then on the underside the main blades, rotors. But other than that, I think this looks pretty darn cool. And it looks like a dune buggy. Now, he way oversizes Beachcomber, that's for sure. Well, there you have it, my friends. A look at Sandstorm in his dune buggy mode. It's time for Alt Mode Comparisons #1. And here we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm with the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Voyager Class Triple Changer Springer. Here we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second comedy portion of our program, where I will again attempt to transform this Transformer. So first thing we want to do is remove all the accessories. So the gun just pulls out of there. We'll set it over to the side here. Then the cage, it just kind of, well, it's supposed to just pull out. And where it connects is right here. Then the winch, we'll remove that. And the little pistol, we will remove that. And then I will see if I can remember how to transform this guy. We do still have one more piece to remove, but we'll get to that in just a minute. But I think first of all what we want to do is disconnect. Well, I say that it is. There we go. We want to untab the arms from this panel right here and then rotate them up out of the way a bit. Like so. And we'll just move them out of the way like this. Then you want to take these two panels and lay them back like this. And you want to take the tires and move them out and rotate them. And this one you want to go up a little higher with. So we've got them like that. Then we take this panel and I believe we move it up like that. Maybe we have to disconnect this first. So there's that disconnected. And then this piece right here just folds in. I do remember that. And then these pieces go like this, with this tire going toward this end and the other tire going above it. Why does it always want to be difficult when you go to film? Because that's why. There is that part done, and you can go ahead and flip these up. You don't have to do it right now, but you know, it doesn't hurt. Then I want to say this goes back down just like that, and then the arms, they have tabs right here, and I want to say, where do they tab in? They tab in somewhere up here, I think. Right here, maybe. Right here. I do believe is the correct spot. Then you want to untab this and pull the head around like that. Supposed to go down in there like that on that double hinged mechanism there. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Now that we've got that all sorted, we can unpeg this piece. It does tab in right here and here, which I probably talked about earlier, and then that post and this port. So there's that. We'll get it out of the way. And then these pieces right here on this hinge, I'm going to put them out all the way. Then this piece flips like this. And here's where you want to pull these up. That whole central piece. And you'll hear it snap into place, and it is rather disconcerting when you go to put it back in. If you're going to put it back in, you do have to apply a little bit of pressure to it, so there is that to be aware of. But anyway, the blades come out of this channel, and then you pull that up till it snaps, and you can rotate it back here kind of out of the way. And you've got some hinges up here for these pieces with the wheels on them. Come out like this, and then these pieces are on a hinge, and you swivel them around like so. And then this piece right here is still attached here, so when you go to close this up, it will also close, or at least that's the way it's supposed to work. And they do have some tab, open tab right here, or open slot, and a tab right there to where that is supposed to go in there. And then there are some tabs and slots here on the front that you just kind of press together. So there's that. Then you've got this panel. course it doesn't want to do, right? But you lay this down, and you can see the double hinge right here. And that piece ain't supposed to go down yet. And lift this piece up. Maybe that's what's holding it up. Yeah. So then that piece will lay flat, and then this piece right here, you just fold it on down, and it lines up with the, I guess, the housing for the motor. And then these two panels right here, just close those down, and this tab's in the back, so just make sure it's mashed down reasonably well, and it ain't got to be super duper, but says it goes like that. Seems like it's sticking out just a little bit, don't it? So anyway, once you get that all done, then you take the rotors and you just spread them out in a cross pattern. Oops. That one does not want to go where it's supposed to. Alright, there we go. And now he's all transformed, it looks like. Let's take a look at the figure in his helicopter mode. And I don't think I like this one quite as much as the Dune Buggy, which is the opposite from what the pictures, what the pictures show. I thought the helicopter mode was going to be the better mode, and by no means is it a bad mode. I think it looks pretty darn good considering it's a triple changer, and the rotors spin pretty well. So there is that. And then as far as the accessories go on it, here is the base, and you just line up the posts on the cage part, and there we go. We have that. Then I do believe you pull that out just a bit, and you see there's a post on it right here, and I think it ports in right here. Really the only place I see. Well, I guess it could port in here in the back, but that looks weird, at least to me. And then you can port that into the cage, and he's transporting cargo. Now, as far as his other weapons or the other accessories go, which of course are weapons, what the instructions show is that you can port them in here or here, and that one's short, so we'll port it in closer to the front, and then this one is longer, so we'll post it in or port it in closer to the back. And there you have it, my friends. That's all the accessories on there. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the figure, or the rest of the helicopter. And, we've got this paint app here on the front that we discussed earlier, and then these, and the cockpit, and then here's some right here, and here, and that goes on both sides. And that's pretty much it that we haven't really talked about. I mean, some of that we did talk about already. We've got some silver lines right here. And then this may be painted. But the rest of it appears to be molded in the appropriate colors. Some of the details, you see some panel lines on here. You can see some rivets in it all along. They're hard, some of them are hard to see. But you've got panel lines and rivets, and you know, and then we've got these panels. And of course, none of that opens up, but that's fine. Now on the bottom, there's the Autobot symbol. I kind of wish they would have put one up here or something, but that's okay, I guess. And my only issue with this mode is under the bottom of it, you know, you do have visible robot head syndrome in there. I guess maybe you could turn it around when you transform him. I'm not sure. But this specific tire just seems a little out of place, and I don't know, maybe that's me. Maybe I just didn't get it right. But that actually sits a little better like that. So when I do them in helicopter mode, I may just do it like that, and it rolls okay. Now this is getting in the way of the rolling some, so I guess I'll have to wind it up because I can't get a hold of it real good to pull it off. So let's wind that up and see if that gets out of the way a little bit. So yeah, it rolls okay like that. So that's good. And the rotors work, and he's got weapons, and oh yeah, we didn't look at the rear ones. So they spin okay. But there it is, my friends. A look at Sandstorm in his helicopter mode. It's time for Alt Mode Comparisons number 2. And here we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm with the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Voyager Class Springer. Here we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class G1 Triple Changer Sandstorm, I will have to tell you guys, I almost passed on this Transformer because I was aware that there was another Autobot Triple Changer besides Sandstorm, but other than a few appearances in a catalog, I never saw it. I don't remember seeing him in the comics. I didn't really, when I was growing up, season 3 of Transformers really didn't air in my area. So I don't even know if he was in season 3. I mean, I have watched it as an adult, and I don't remember Sandstorm being in it. But with all that being said, not being familiar with the character, I was going to pass on it. And I decided not to. I was like, you know, he's G1 and, you know, he looks kind of cool. Let me pick it up and just see how it is. And honestly, I'm glad that I did. I don't know that I agree with this being a leader class. And they just as easily, I think this is, I don't know. It's a little larger than a Voyager class. So maybe, you know, height-wise, plastic-wise, accessory-wise, is why they made this one a leader class. And, you know, the others were leader classes too, except for poor Springer, Siege Springer. But so, and I know we have a leader class Springer coming soon. Unfortunately, I heard that it's going to be based off of the Siege designs, and so I'm not real happy with that. This, if anything, this review has reminded me how much I hate to transform Siege Springer in any mode. I like his robot mode, fine. It's good for the display, which is how most of my Transformers are displayed in robot mode. But just the act of transforming him, just, I hated it. I hated every second of it. I do not like transforming that Springer. And this helicopter mode, just to me, is pure garbage. And the car mode is okay. And the robot mode is okay. And with triple changers, you often get that, you know, one mode kind of suffers, or all the modes suffer. And with Springer, you know, again, the robot mode is okay, and the car mode is okay, and the helicopter mode, I just find it to be garbage. But that's my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary, but that's getting a little off topic with this one. But while I was talking about, you know, one mode suffering, if I had to say one mode on this figure suffers, I would have to say it would be the robot mode. I was thinking I wasn't really going to like that dune buggy mode, but I really dug it. And the helicopter mode is, I don't like it as well as the dune buggy mode, but I do really like the helicopter mode too. And it's not that I dislike the robot mode. I think the robot mode is fine, but it does suffer a bit overly, I think, from, you know, backpacks and you know, gappage. As you can see, like behind the back of him is pretty empty. Like his legs are just nothing there really. And so I would have to say this, that the robot mode is the one that suffers the most on this figure, which is a shame because it's a fairly decent robot mode. But, you know, like the big backpack, it kind of hinders up some of the articulation, and you know, and I'm not really saying anything about a Transformer having a backpack, because of course if you have a Transformer that transforms, at least a mainline, then chances are he's going to have some kind of backpack piece. And I mean, that's just the way it is. It's not like the animation or the comic book that, you know, the stuff shrinks and grows and disappears, and, you know, it's a physical representation of something, and these pieces have to have a place to go. And I would much rather have them stay attached to the figure than lose them some way or another. But overall, I will have to say, with my unfamiliarity with the character, I was really surprised by this Transformer, and I really like it. The transformation, for the most part, is enjoyable. I did have a little bit of an issue with getting the rotors to once they were folded up to collapse down, and it was frustrating, but I just got to the point and I said, the hell with it, and I just applied some firm pressure to it, and it went where it was supposed to go, and it didn't break, at least the few times I transformed it. So just remember, just some firm pressure will get that piece to go in, and don't do like me and get frustrated with it. But other than that, again, I really liked this Transformer. I like transforming him. It wasn't, I won't say it was a joy, but it wasn't a chore. And it was an enjoyable experience. And I really think at this point, I could do it without the instruction. Well, I have done it during the review without the instructions. But I feel pretty comfortable with transformation, all 3 modes for this figure now. So again, you know, if you were thinking about skipping, this is, in my opinion, again, your mileage may vary, I really like this Transformer. I think it is a piece that belongs in, you know, if you're a fan of G1 stuff, you know, you might want to look at picking this up. It belongs in my collection, and I would say that more than likely it probably belongs in your collection as well. But, you know, I'll buy the ones that I like and get them in my display, and you can buy the ones that you like and get them in your display. This is, again, it's just my opinion, and my opinion is this one is a keeper, and I really liked it. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.